Hello there, this is Ernestine Lyons and this is my channel. So if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So if you are into language learning, politics, and social commentary, and then also lifestyle, then you're the right channel. So today's video, I'm going to be delving right into goal setting and New Year's resolutions and vision boards and setting visions, intentions, and goals for the year 2023. And so I'm just going to share what I typically do, which is ever since I was a kid, I can remember me and my family sitting around and writing down all of our New Year's resolutions. And as an adult, I have started actually writing them down and then kind of revisiting them at the end of the year and setting down to look at what actually happened. What did I materialize? What did I manifest? Behind me is my vision board. So I do think that in 2022, I didn't necessarily create a vision board, and I feel like things kind of got derailed and as far as like my career and other things I'd like to have in life. So I'm just going to share my resolutions for this year, go over my vision board, and talk a little bit about goals, setting intentions, resolutions, maybe doing SMART goals, and how to even create a vision board. So if you like what you see, you can go ahead and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Okay, so generally the resolutions are going to be things that range from, things you would like to achieve in life to, maybe goals or milestones you'd like to reach. For example, I have on here, I guess I'll just go down the list, 2023 New Year's resolutions, and there are 23 of them, and that wasn't intentional. It just kind of ended up happening that way. But I know a lot of other YouTubers are kind of doing 23 resolutions or intentions that they're setting for 2023. To be clever. So the first one of mine is to adopt, habits and to be consistent with some of those habits, things like fitness, working out, organizational goals, and to embrace minimalism. Around 2018, 2019, I was really into embracing minimalism, which is a philosophy that is all about owning less and being more intentional about how you spend your time. And when you own less, you have more experiences with the people in your life, your friends, your family, your loved ones, and you spend less time accumulating stuff and, being worried about your stuff and your possessions and, just being so possession oriented. And our consumer culture is actually not really good for us as a society. You really want to be more about loving people and, just not collecting stuff. And so minimalism, when I have 3 sweaters that I live in and I love, and those sweaters make me happy, I feel confident when I wear those sweaters, those are the ones I keep. I don't keep things just because of sentimental value or because, this is what my aspirational self would like to be wearing. I'll keep a hat because I'd like to be a hat person, but if I don't wear it and it's collecting dust, how is it serving me? So minimalism is a big philosophy, but to go back down the list, drink more water, become more of a fitness buff or like an athlete in your mindset so that you are consistent with health. My goal is to lose 20 pounds. Become a vegan. I was a vegan in 2020 for most of the year and into 2021, and then my dad passed away and all of that went out the window. I just didn't care anymore about not eating meat. I was like, bring on the bacon. So on my list is also to go to law school, to make an annual salary of $86,000 a year, whether that's through my standard salary with work or that is through other streams of income, which I'm going to get into ways to, just kind of bring in extra income. Then to walk daily. I have a treadmill, or I'm a big proponent of going for walks outside in nature. I would like to be married one day, so I always put that on my New Year's resolutions and or vision boards. It's been on my vision board consistently since about 2018, 2019, and I'm at that age where it's a goal of mine. So And then to travel monthly. I used to be a big traveler prior to the pandemic. I know I had a lot of goals and plans. I know in 2019 I went to Japan. This year was the first year since the pandemic that I've actually been outside of the country again, getting back to using my passport. I am all about international experiences and languages and experiencing new cultures. So I really want to get back into that, which goes right into some of my other goals around Ling Global, which is, my business that focuses on language learning and having intercultural experiences. Then I also put on here, take podcasting and video journalism to the next level with my Quick to Politic podcast, maybe work on getting sponsors or doing lives. Then next would be to become more deeply connected with my spirituality and, just being closer to God and, just kind of being appreciative of the blessings that I do have in my life and just connecting with that a little bit more. And then nurturing friendships, growing my social media platforms. I'll get more into that. And then the business, I mentioned Ling Global. I also like to get a little bit more into earnest tea marketing, doing lives on, TikTok and things to target new customers and let folks know that I'm out here with these businesses and they're doing what they do. Last thing is be more confident, trust my intuition, speaking up and trusting your voice and opinions. Joining the military as a reservist is something that's a goal for 2023. I have fluctuated with that desire to join the military for the past probably 7 years. I've said oh yeah, I know in 2014 I took the Air Force officer qualifying test and I was like, okay, I'm going to go into the Air Force as an officer, and I failed the test miserably. I'm terrible at standardized test taking. I took it again. Results were even worse. So I didn't go into the Air Force. I went to graduate school and got my master's degree. So now I'm revisiting the thought of joining, the Air Force as an officer or maybe another branch of the military as a reservist. So you just have 1 weekend a month that you commit to, and then a couple of weeks out of the year where you go and you do that. And anyway, I digress. So, and then the last thing is reassess my own standards and the things that, I want to bring into my life and what I want to manifest, what I tolerate, and what my expectations are for myself. So those are my resolutions. And then I kind of highlighted, I'm going to put this up on the screen, but I highlighted about 6 of these, or 7 of them really, and wrote out more SMART goals. So those are the resolutions. Then the goals are to break them down into attainable chunks so that you'll see I have used this as a method since about 2019, 2020 to break things down into month by month. These are the goals. This is the target. This is how I'm going to get there. So we talked about the year and the practice. I have this old notebook here from 2018, 2019, and 2020 of breaking down the goals by month. I'm just going to show that I kind of divided it. I don't know what happened. I didn't even fill in 2021 properly. I had January, February, all the way to December, health and fitness for 2021, finances for 2021, government and politics, and city council. I was a city council person at the time. Organizational goals, and whatever else you would like to add and see and work on. So that was pretty much a method that I started doing. And I also like to kind of look at accomplishments and, around this time of year, it's this is what you accomplished in whatever the year is. And so that way you can reflect on the things. And this is the vision board that I have started building, and I'd actually like to continue. Ultimately, with vision boards, the way that you want to create one, or at least this is the way that I do it, is to break it into quadrants. And whatever, of course, a vision board is going to have these 4 corners. I have finances, relationships, health, and organization. So for me, organization means a lot of, how do things work for you at work? Do you have systems that allow for you to be a better employee? And, organization also means in my house, how are things structured where it just makes it easier for you? And organization can also tie into things like I talked about adopting minimalism and having less and doing more with less, and having less clutter, having to spend less time cleaning up things and worrying about things. These quadrants I have like more self-improvement here and travel, and then of course luxury, and I have here just a picture. I'd like to run for city council again. I have that up there, which is my old city council thing. Salary goals and aspirations, and law school aspirations. And that's a plate of vegan food because I'd like to get back to being vegan. Of course, that salary goal is right there. I put that number that I want to manifest everywhere around my house. There's one big sign as soon as you walk into my kitchen. That's my dream car, a Cadillac there. I love my little red Ford Focus, so that's not a big priority, but I've put a Cadillac on just about every vision board I've ever made. There's go and travel, and a lot of times, people who are familiar with vision boards, they just kind of cut all of this stuff out of magazines, and if you were ever into collaging, that's kind of what this is. It's like making a glorified collage. I have over here other stuff like I mentioned the military and law school aspirations. So I have finances. I mentioned relationships, health. There's the health goals. So this was the first vision board that I started on. It's not complete, but I did make this one at a vision board party with my friends. And as you can see, I took and recycled old political yard signs and made them into these vision boards. And I have on here like marriage and stay in your magic, of course, manifesting money, and a quote, a really great quote that's talking about resilience. There's not one prescription for resilience, and find what works for you. And, just spirituality, being more connected with God and closer to, what makes me feel like uplifted and spiritually, and all of these other quotes. There's a lot of tea on here, which I always would put tea on my vision board, and I didn't know why the first couple of times. I just saw pictures of tea and I'm like, I want that, and then I just randomly started a tea business because I love mixing tea. And so that is the vision board aspect of things. And when I talk about some of the other goals that I took out of the resolutions and put them into 7 goals, we talk about the career options. But anyway, I'm making this video not just to talk about what are my goals, but I really want to be able to inspire folks to show you that you really want to be very intentional with the goals you set. So you really want to look into your why. Why are you asking? Like I say this $86,000, and I've been saying this for years because I do think that there are ways in which having that certain number will allow for me to have more opportunities to not only save and meet other finance goals, but to travel and to, have different experiences and bring the people I love into those experiences as well. And so you really have to look at your why a lot when setting goals, because you may say, I want to join the military, but why is that a goal? Is it a goal because you want status, or you want safety or security, or are there other ways in which you can achieve that same goal? So it's important to also look at, I say these are SMART goals, and SMART is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant or realistic, and then time bound or timely. So you really want to say, for example, make an annual salary of $86,000, and then specific, like how are you going to go about that? Okay, so you make a base salary of 60, and then you bring in an additional 30 because you are, doing whatever the side hustle is. And so that kind of ties into, whatever you're doing with podcasting, social media, and tying it back all into things. So you really want to look at your goals here, and then you can break them down into SMART goals. And for example, grow social media, like specific. I would say I want to have so many followers on TikTok and so many followers on, YouTube. So the YouTube goal is to have more organic followers who are from the United States, and specifically like maybe more of a Metro Detroit following, because I do a lot of language content, and the language content has actually pushed me over that 1,000 followers, which was a, goal from last year. That's closer to monetization and getting towards that goal. But a lot of the followers are actually followers because of language videos that I've did, focused on the Karakal Pak language and Somali. So these are international audiences. So some of the content that I put on my YouTube channel that are focused on Detroit politics and or the Detroit entrepreneurial ecosystem aren't as relevant to my international audience. So therefore, I can still create content that is relevant to both a domestic American audience and an international audience. So that's really why you want to get a little granular with a lot of these goals and spell out the steps. Like, for example, go to law schools here. What that means is I would have to study for the LSAT, or the law school admission test. I would study for the LSAT. I took the LSAT. I didn't get the best score for the LSAT because of my fear of standardized tests, but I will take it again. And now I have to be cognizant of what the admission deadlines are, which I believe are in February of 2023. And this is in order to attend law school in the fall of 2023. So I would then have to take the LSAT again, submit my law school essays, which I'm already working on, and then submit letters of recommendations, and then wait for the results, and then get ready for law school in the fall. So those are the steps. Those are the specific, measurable, time-bound. You have a time-bound kind of objective there with the, deadline being in February. You have a relevant or realistic goal. Realistic goal is to know what you did on the LSAT and to figure out how to get a better score based on already having took it, or if no matter where you are and whatever the goal is. So this is an example of that. And is it attainable? Yes. So then it's measurable. By so-and-so date, you need to not only submit your law school essays and letters of recommendation, but you need to have in an LSAT score. So, and those are very specific, things, and you just wrote them out and you went over them. Now, so you really want to make sure that you're staying consistent and motivated, and you're motivated for the right reasons. So here's to hoping everybody has a really great 2023, and a 2023 that is full of, all of the things that you wish to bring into your life, that you want to manifest. And here's where I'm going to get all new agey. I really think it's up to your mindset, and your mindset has to be positive and thankful. So you really have to rest in your gratitude, rest in that sense of everything is possible. That goal setting is really important, because you can say and have the mentality of everything is possible, and you can pray for these things, and you work through your belief in a higher power that you're going to achieve these things, and you can do all of that. But at the same time, you have to know why you're setting the goals, the intention behind them. Set those goals and then spell it out, but month by month. Break it down. Say in March I'm going to, in July I'm going to blank, and then that way if life starts to throw in like wrenches into the plans that you made, which was what happened to me in 2022, you will still have a roadmap for how to get back to it. And you can't beat yourself up when you kind of get a little bit off track. So I just think that you have to be kind to yourself. You have to be, there it is again, realistic. I really like doing this as a year-end review and way to recognize like what I accomplished, what's ahead, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I hope that this was inspirational to you, or it helped you in the process of planning, setting intentions, resolutions, and putting together a vision board, even if it's not complete, or maybe some little bit complete. Yeah, those are some of the main things that I do as far as planning for the next year. In my December, I've been spending most of the month just going through the house, decluttering, and trying to put together systems that are going to serve me in the coming year, so that everything is just easy and it's not, there are no excuses when I say that I want to be better at, taking care of my mental health and my physical health and being a fitness person. then if everything's organized and I have my shoes right there and I do my meal prep and everything is there ready to go, then you have a foolproof plan and there are no excuses. So you can just roll right into whatever your goals are. And even when life comes your way and life be lifing, you know, you at least have a way to come back. And yeah, maybe you don't achieve whatever goal you set in August or by August, but then you can kind of roll into maybe November and say, okay, well, this is what I'd like to achieve. I can build on that. And as you go through the year, you may even see that, oh, well, these things didn't work for me. So it's really more about the habits. And as I talked about like this, dividing it into quadrants, you know, the very first time I did this, it was because I saw a YouTube video by Matt Diavella, who's a really big proponent of a lot of this habit building and organization. And he read the book, you know, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, which I read that book and I absolutely loved it. And, you know, James Clear actually builds on it in his book, Atomic Habits. And then, of course, you know, you got Jensen Charles, like You Are a Badass or Badass Habits. And so many of these books that talk about habit building, it's people really end up losing sight of their resolutions or quitting on their resolutions or giving up because they never built habits. So, you know, getting back to the reason why I divided it up into month by month is because it typically takes somebody 30 days or more to build a new habit. So you got 30 days of like, oh, I'm focusing on health and fitness. I'm going to go out and take a walk every day, or I'm going to do push-ups every day. So it's really about taking those habits and then transforming them into routine. And so that you have this cue, response, reward kind of habit cycle, and that becomes who you are. That becomes your life. These are great books, so if you want to read any of those books, I would recommend them. I also recommend The 12-Week Year, which I am beginning to read this one, so we'll see how I implement some of the things that I've read from that book into like the day-to-day, but I highly recommend those 4 books, and I hope you have a great new year. And I'm looking forward to growing this channel and seeing more, building more lifestyle content, and you know, kind of really inspiring people to be their best self and live their best life. So if you like what you see here, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Get out of here, vision board. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Ernestine Lyons, and this is my channel. So come here if you like politics and you want to watch the Quick to Politic show, or if you like language learning and travel, then subscribe. So yeah, that's me, and I'll see you in 2023. All right, whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, bye everybody.